Hey everyone, I'm Raquel, and you're listening to the Avenue podcast. In this series, we're exploring the many layers of relationships through the story of Joseph. We hope his story inspires you to grow in the way you relate with all the people that God has put in your life.
Hey Justin.
Sup, Jeremy? How's it going?
Yeah, pretty good. Hey, good to see you. I know that it's a commitment for you to be out here recording
not at all,
because,
not
Pacquiao is fighting at the moment.
Yes,
You're a
my
big Pacquiao
champion, people's
fan,
champ.
aren't you?
Yeah. Ever since I was a kid, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolute legend, that guy.
I'm sure he's an inspiration to the Filipino nation, symbol of resilience. And
Fun fact, did you know that the crime rate drops to near zero when there's a Pacquiao fight in the
Really?
Philippines? Everyone's just watching
Wow.
it, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Speaking of resilience and fighting, we're continuing our journey of looking at a character who had resilience and fought hard even when life was very difficult for him, and this character's name is Joseph, and we're going to be continuing on the story of Joseph. At the moment, we have found Joseph in a pit because he was convicted of something that he didn't do. Like, he was thought to have slept with Potiphar's wife, even though he actually resisted that, and then he was thrown into a pit, and now he's in prison. And that's where we're picking up the story at the moment. So maybe we can read that story.
Right.
We're in Genesis 40. Do you want to read
Cool.
that, Justin?
Yeah, I think I'll read until maybe verse 14, and then you continue on.
Okay.
I'll be reading
Sounds
from the English Standard Version.
Yep.
All right. Some time after this, the cupbearer of the king of Egypt and his baker committed an offense against their lord, the king of Egypt. And Pharaoh was angry with his two officers, the chief cupbearers and the chief baker, and he put them in custody in the house of the captain of the guard, in the prison where Joseph was confined. The captain of the guard appointed Joseph to be with them, and he attended them. They continued for some time in custody. And one night they both dreamed, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt, who were confined in the prison, each his own dream, and each with its own interpretation. When Joseph came to them in the morning, he saw that they were troubled. So he asked Pharaoh's officers who were with him in custody in his master's house, "Why are your faces downcast today?" They said to him, We have had dreams, and there is no one to interpret them." And Joseph said to them, Do not interpretations belong to God? Please tell them to me." So the chief cupbearers told his dream to Joseph, and said to him, "In my dream there was a vine before me, and on the vine there were 3 branches. As soon as it budded, its blossoms shot forth, and clusters ripened into grapes. Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand." Then Joseph said to him, "This is its interpretation. The 3 branches are 3 days. In 3 days Pharaoh will lift up your head and restore you to your office, and you shall place Pharaoh's cup in his hand. As formerly, when you were his cupbearer. Only remember me when it is well with you, and please do me the kindness to mention me to Pharaoh, and so get me out of this house."
For I was kidnapped from my homeland, the land of the Hebrews, and now I'm here in prison, but I did nothing to deserve it. When the chief baker saw that Joseph had given the first dream such a positive interpretation, he said to Joseph, "I had a dream too. In my dream there were 3 baskets of white pastries stacked on my head." Sounds yummy. The top basket contained all kinds of pastries for Pharaoh, but the birds came and ate them from the basket on my head. "This is what the dream means," Joseph told him. "The 3 baskets also represent 3 days. 3 days from now, Pharaoh will lift you up and impale your body on a pole. Then birds will come and peck away at your flesh." Pharaoh's birthday came 3 days later, and he prepared a banquet for all his officials and staff. He summoned his chief cupbearer and chief baker to join the other officials. He then restored the chief cupbearer to his former position, so he could again hand Pharaoh his cup. But Pharaoh impaled the chief baker, just as Joseph had predicted when he interpreted his dream. Pharaoh's chief cupbearer, however, forgot all about Joseph, never giving him another thought.
Yikes.
Feel
Yeah,
sorry for
it's
that.
a tough one, man.
For that baker.
Yeah, yeah. I remember watching the movie
Yeah.
as a kid, right?
Of
And I was
course.
like, why would God do this to the baker, but like spare the other one?
Yeah.
Like, what's the difference, right?
Yeah.
I felt really bad. What do you
Yeah.
think of that?
I actually have no idea. I'm just like, why does this? I'm just like, I was thinking when I watched this, I was like, well, I don't want to be this. I don't want to be this baker. I hope I'm the cupbearer, you know.
Yeah, yeah, right, right.
But yeah.
But I guess it's not so much God deciding who. I mean, He is, but it's also Him fulfilling man's wish for evil too.
Yeah.
So it was definitely Pharaoh's thought
Yeah.
to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think God is just saying what is going to happen. That doesn't mean He's the one orchestrating it
Right,
as
right.
well.
Anyway, yeah.
That's a bit of a
Perfect.
sidetrack. We're talking about relationships. We're talking
Yeah.
about
Purpose.
in
Yeah.
particular. And I really love this passage when it comes to
Me
talking about
too.
purpose.
Yep.
What do you think about purpose in this passage, Justin?
You know, Jeremy, like purpose is a really big thing for me, and I've always thought, growing up, what is my purpose? Well, I'm trying to find. I don't know about you. Like a lot of people want to find their purpose, and today they still feel like they have to find it. It's an ongoing search, and it's just waiting to be revealed. But we know when you read the Bible and when you become a Christian, it's already found in Jesus. And I think that's the kind of lens I want to have when reading this particular passage and finding out purpose and exploring it.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely. I think with Joseph, he really shows that purpose can be found wherever you are. There's opportunities right now to live out your purpose. You can be in a prison, you can be in a pit, you can be in slavery. It doesn't matter where you are, but you can still live out God's purpose for your life. And it's more about the mindset that you come into a situation with rather than depending on specific circumstances, I think.
Right, yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
see in Joseph's life.
And it's really relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really relatable. Like, I don't know about you, like feeling forgotten, stuck, unseen, even when you're trying to be faithful
Yeah.
and do all the right things.
Exactly.
But life seems to just kick you in the ass and
Yeah.
do that.
Would you say that purpose doesn't always correlate with visible progress?
Purpose doesn't correlate with visible progress.
Doesn't always correlate with visible progress.
I think I definitely agree with that, I think. Because I feel like finding purpose is about what God has already laid out for you. It is already finished.
Yeah.
So our purpose is not, again, on this ongoing process, still waiting for it to be revealed. It's already found.
Yeah.
And-
Because I'm just
yeah.
thinking with Joseph's life, he didn't have that visible progress, but he was still walking in God's
That's
calling
true.
and purpose
Yeah,
for his
absolutely.
life.
Yeah.
So I think the heart of this is that faithfulness, right? And that willingness to look around and see what is around you, who is around you, and how you can serve them. That's what Joseph does with his life. Like, he looks around and he sees... I find it so fascinating. He looks around and he sees these two prisoners, and he sees that the prisoners are sad and dejected. He notices that there's something wrong with these prisoners.
Right.
And he's in prison. It'd be so easy for him to just have a victim mentality and just be sorry for himself. But
Yeah,
instead
absolutely.
he looks around and he sees, who is it that I can serve around me?
Yeah. That's true resilience, man.
Yeah.
And even in the face of despair and being lost, like stuck in prison.
Yeah.
That's the worst you can get.
Yeah.
And, still trying your hardest, still trying to be faithful to God, using what talents God has given you to fight back.
And talents, you mentioned, is really important because Joseph used his talents and the skills that God had given him even in the prison. Because some of us, we want to have that visible greatness, but we're not willing to do things in private. But those private battles always precede the public battles.
Yeah, yeah.
For Joseph, he was made to be this administrator over the prison, right? And I think those skills that he learnt in the prison set him up later for life when he had greater responsibility. So I think the principle behind this is don't negate the responsibility that you have been given right now, even though it might seem small, because that small responsibility you have will lead to a greater responsibility in the future.
Yeah, yeah. Like this verse from, I think, Ephesians, was it? where it talks about First or Second Timothy, where it talks about the vessels. Some are made out of clay, and some are gold and used for that purpose. And basically, the gist of that message was prepare yourself for God's purpose. And it's already found, but if you put yourself in a place where God can use you, you'll definitely be used. And, I think that really resonates with me. I agree with you.
Put yourself...
And it's almost done all the time in private, like you said. Yeah. We often think our identity is proven when we're promoted.
Yeah.
But God forges it when we're actually hidden in private.
Yeah.
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 I feel like that also reflects my lifestyle right now. I'm in a growth of self-improvement and trying to work on myself privately. Yeah.
Yeah, and from that private place, it flows out, right? It flows out into maybe the more public sector. But it starts with that something a bit more intrinsic and internal. And I think God had really been forming Joseph's character during this time, because I think you see a maturity in Joseph's life. Because when he first starts off, I don't know if you remember a young Joseph, right? His father gave him a coat. Then he was that favorite child. He had many dreams as well. And then what did he do with those dreams? Do you remember?
He was kind of like bragging about it to his brothers. He was
bragging about it to his brothers. He was saying to his brothers, let me tell you my dream. You guys are going to be bowing down to me. And he's sort of gloating about it, as you said. But it seems like there has been a maturity in Joseph's life now, because instead of telling people about his dream, he's actually asking people, tell me your dream. Tell me your dream. And he's looking for the fulfillment of his dream in actually the dreams of other people.
Right. So that act of service, that principle where happiness is found in helping people and hospitality, that's really good.
Exactly. Because I think you find your purpose by knowing why you exist. And we, from a follower of Jesus' perspective, we know why we exist. We exist to make disciples, to love and to be a blessing to the world around us. We live for this purpose. And I think it's also helpful to understand why you exist by knowing who you exist for as well. And here Joseph knows who he exists for. He knows that he is supposed to love and to bless those around him, which would include the cupbearer and the baker. Maybe not. Maybe the baker's a bit more hard done by, but
No, that's beautiful, man. Yeah, it's really deep. Yeah, and that's what I love about this story, is that there's more to it than meets the eye, and it goes much deeper than what people realize.
Yeah, definitely. It's
I feel like you could also be the wine bearer and that baker in that instance, stuck in prison. You don't have to be the, Mr. Perfect Joseph over here who has all the talents and all that.
Yeah.
You could feel like a hypocrite. You could feel like you're still struggling with sin and addicted or falling short.
Yeah.
But even in the verse, right, God did not forget about Joseph. He was with him. I think it was verse 14 where only remember me when it's well with you.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
In verse 23, it says Pharaoh's chief cupbearer forgot all about Joseph, never giving him a second thought.
The
end, so.
I don't know what it is, but I think I remembered God being with Joseph.
Oh yeah,
in that
at
instance.
the start. Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah.
What verse was that?
It says that God was with Joseph.
Just try to find it here. Told him his dream.
Yeah, I can't see it for some reason.
That's all right.
But either way, we know that God is with Joseph in the prison. We know that he is working with Joseph, and he's working through Joseph, and because of that, Joseph is being a blessing. He's not playing the victim and saying, "Oh, I feel sorry for myself. I don't deserve any of this," because he didn't deserve any of this. He was put in the prison for something that he didn't do.
Absolutely, yeah.
But here he is still being faithful and seeing how he can serve those.
Right, that's the point. I think we can make parallels of our own lives, even in Jesus' life.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I think you look at Joseph and you think to yourself, I can't be like Joseph. He's just such an inspiring figure. And I don't know if I can live the life that Joseph lived.
Right.
But here's the thing. I think a lot of the characters that you see in the Bible, the ones that you're really inspired by, they're not so much a symbol of us, maybe, but maybe they're also, or more so, a symbol of Jesus. And there's this word that gets used called typology, which is saying that is basically a fancy word of saying characters maybe in the Old Testament are symbols of Jesus in the New Testament.
Right.
So
that's one of my favorite buzzwords nowadays is typology. I don't know about you, but I've been studying a little bit of it.
Yeah.
And the more I delve into it, the more I get more fascinated about the Old Testament and the Bible.
Yeah.
And if I had to explain what typology is, it's like if you know what an Easter egg is in the movie.
Yeah.
And you kind of like rewatch the movie again and you kind of realize, wow, they were actually foreshadowing that at the start of the movie before the climax or the end even got there. So the viewers could have actually known about it if they did see that sign right at the very start of the movie.
Yeah, Easter eggs.
Easter eggs. That's kind of how I see it.
Yeah.
And Joseph is really interesting because it's one of the biggest parallels we have of Jesus is that he was great. He had so much talent. He was the son of God, basically, right? He was the favored one. And just as Joseph was forgotten, thrown in a pit, and sold to slavery, that's literally what we did to Jesus.
Yeah.
He was forsaken on a cross and bled and died for our sins. And Joseph might not have died, but he, in a figurative sense, he did die because he lost his identity. He didn't know where he was. He was in a foreign land. Nobody knew him. And he almost lost his faith in God, you know? And
100%.
Jesus represents that even after all of that, he still loved us.
Yeah.
And he never forgot about us.
Yeah.
And he never forgot his identity as the creator and everything else, basically.
He's the better Joseph.
He's the better Joseph, yeah.
And Joseph was pretty good.
Yeah, and Joseph was good.
Yeah. And you see that because just as Joseph, he was convicted of something that he didn't do. He was convicted of something he didn't do, and he was thrown in prison because of that. He didn't start blaming other people. He didn't adopt that victim mentality where he felt sorry for himself, but he ended up just living a life of purpose and serving those around him. And Jesus did that with his life. He was convicted of something that he didn't do. He was innocent, but instead
absolutely innocent.
He gave his life to to living for other people and for serving other people.
And just as Joseph, spoiler alert, provided food and bread for everyone, Jesus gave us eternal bread. Yeah. One that satisfies our hunger in this world.
Exactly. And in that he showed the life that we are called to live, that life of purpose, that life of meaning. And it doesn't matter what situation we might be in. It might be in the palace or it might be in the prison. It doesn't matter. But whether you're in the palace or you're in the prison, you just serve faithfully.
Absolutely.
Give and you love those around you, and you realize that the fulfillment of your dream actually lies in giving yourself to serving and loving other people, I think. Absolutely,
yeah. How do you think identity plays into this? Because I feel like that's a really big theme too. If you're stuck in prison for that long, I mean, it says here that he had to wait 2 whole years before Pharaoh.
Before Pharaoh elevated him and promoted him.
I don't know about you, that would make me crazy, right?
Yeah.
If you were there, like, just to yourself, not much food, wrestling with your identity, your purpose. Like, what's all this, God? Like, you told me I had a purpose. I was going to be this. And then all of a sudden, you just took that away from me.
It's a great question.
Yeah.
I think God is actually forming Joseph's identity in this time in a way that could not have been formed if he was back at home with Jacob. Here in the prison, God is showing Joseph who he is, that he is God's child, that he is loved, and it doesn't matter what external situations or circumstances might pop up, but God is with him always. And I think from that place of knowing who you are, or knowing whose you are is a better way of looking at it, maybe. Knowing whose you are, you are able to do what you are then called to do. I think purpose flows from identity, and that's what you see in Joseph's life, identity that has been formed through hardships and tough circumstances, which then allows him to live a life of purpose, whether he's in the prison or in the palace.
Absolutely, man. That's
Yeah.
so great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Joseph didn't manipulate his way out as well, right? Like,
Yeah.
God brought him out at the right time.
Exactly.
He did it through honorable means.
Yeah.
He earned it through favor, through working hard, and staying faithful with God.
Yeah.
Imagine if he didn't. Imagine
Yeah.
if he cursed God and
Exactly.
you could have ended up in prison for way longer than 2 years, or
Yeah.
even wound up dead.
That's
you know?
right. Because I think
Yeah.
faithfulness, it's our responsibility, but
Mm.
outcomes, that's God's responsibility.
Yes, yes.
Our job is to just be faithful to God,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
He will then promote us when the time is right. And when we do that, we do what Joseph does, and we're able to give glory to God always.
Yeah. I feel like those circumstances, I'm not saying you'd have to be perfect, right? And obviously Joseph wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
And using the cupbearer analogy or the
Yeah.
baker, like, you could have been in that moment too as that baker. And what really matters is the outcomes that God has planned for you. And he'll hold your hand
Yeah.
the whole way through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's not so much more about earning God's favor by doing the work. It's more so
You're doing
trying
the
your
work
best.
from a place of favor.
Yeah. Because you already know
Yeah.
that God has you,
Yeah.
and your identity is found in Him.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good. Well, thanks for having this conversation with me, Justin.
no
It's
worries.
been really meaningful, and I pray that we, going from here, can live a life of purpose that flows from our identity, knowing who we are in God, and from that place we can live out our calling and live out our purpose for the sake of His kingdom and for His glory.
That's great. Yeah. And just to end it, I want to read a verse from Genesis 45, verse 48, where I'm going a bit further than 40, but Joseph says here, "You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good." So this is the gospel lens for our pain and waiting, is that God has a purpose for us, and it's already been found in Jesus. Yep. Amen.
Thanks for listening to the Avenue podcast in our series on relationships. We believe conversations around scriptures help us in the way we relate with God and those around us. My name is Raquel, and if you want to learn more about our community, you can get in touch with us through the handle @Avenue Mission on social media platforms.